Has your business growth stalled out and you're just really not sure what to do next? You're looking at, do I create new products? Do I go into new markets? Do I keep doing what I'm doing? Just go deeper. In this episode of the Entrepreneur Freedom Formula, I'm going to walk you through two key concepts that can help you unlock that business growth again: the elephant curve and the Ansoff Matrix, which could completely unlock the way that you think about business growth. And I've learned this over the years as I've generated over $40 million in revenue for my own companies, and honestly been stuck several times. And even with our current business, carrot.com, we've gotten into that 8-figure territory, and we're working through that next version of the elephant curve ourselves. It's fresh to my mind right now. And I thought, hey, let's turn on the camera and the recording. Let's document this for anybody out there who has gone through or who will go through a stage in your business where business growth stalls. All right, so what we're really talking about here, and where the next 20 to 25 minutes is going to take us, is we've started a company. You've had some level of success in that company. You've had some progress. You have a product that you got some level of product market fit to, and people like it. But then either you want to plan for the future and get ahead of the game so the business doesn't stall out and you keep growing like some of the giant companies out there have, or you've already started kind of slow down and you want to avoid the stall out, or maybe you have fully stalled out and even started walking backwards. And I've experienced all of those in my life. Every single one of those where I got ahead of multiple elephant curves. I strategically planned those. We executed. We've had some where we started to slow down and then pulled through the next elephant curve. I'll introduce you to what the elephant curve is here in a second. And I've had ones where we didn't hit it and we started to go down the back of that elephant curve. And there's lessons in every single one of those. So first of all, I'm going to introduce you to a couple concepts. Now, if you're watching the YouTube version of this, you're going to have some amazing kind of eye candy. And so if you love the podcast version of this, awesome. Love you to death. I love podcasts too. Head over to YouTube though. And this might be one that you might want to sit up for 20 minutes and watch the video version of this to see the diagrams and to see how this maps out. Now, for all of the audio listeners, amazing. I'm going to do my best to paint you the best darn visual of what I'm drawing on my iPad here for you too. So let's dive into the iPad here, and we're gonna go through an experience together. Okay, the first thing that I want us all to think about and recognize is business and business growth, and I think the same thing applies to different parts of our life as well. It's not all this linear path, right? It's not all this linear path where everything is always going straight up and to the right all the time. No adjustments we have to make. It's not a linear path. It tends to be up and down, up and down. We just hope that it's up and down to the right and into the up all the time, right? That it's not up and down horizontal. It's up and down, but moving and trending towards the right. Now, in business, we come out with that first product in that primary market, right? You have one product, one market. In my Entrepreneur Freedom Formula growth levels here that I teach to my Epic group, my high-level coaching group, and that we have worked through here at my own companies, Carrot, and my other companies I'm invested in or own. In there, we talk about the different growth levels. And to really get to $1 million in revenue, in pretty much every business I can think of, really only takes one product, one market. Okay, one product, one market. And oftentimes, not all the times, but oftentimes in many of those businesses, one product, one market will for sure take you to 300K, maybe even $500,000 in revenue. And in big, giant markets with the right marketing method, one product, one market, one marketing method can get you at $1 million. But it really depends on all the different factors. Okay. So elephant curves work for products and the life cycle and the lifespan of a product. Elephant curves work for marketing and marketing campaigns. Elephant curves work for markets. So if I'm in a market, how long does that market have a runway for me to grow in? There's elephant curves all around us. And so what the heck is an elephant curve? Well, first of all, an elephant curve is called that because it looks like an elephant. If you were to look at an elephant and really think about what does an elephant look like, you've got the trunk hanging down on the ground. It grows and it has a pretty steep pitch to get up to the top of its head. Then around its head and its back, it starts to level off, then eventually on its butt, it starts to then go down, eventually to the tail, and now it's down again. So essentially, it's a down on the ground, a ramp up, a leveling off, and then a tailing off. And that's what happens with markets, marketing campaigns, and products. So I'm going to give you an example of this with a company that we all recognize. Let's think about a company like Apple. Okay. So if we think back to the times when Apple first came out in the 80s, they had a pretty massive growth curve. They went up in a massive way, and then they started to level off. That was around the time that Steve Jobs got fired. And from there, Apple really dispersed and created a ton of products. I think they had like 100 plus product SKUs when Steve Jobs came back. And what I want to show you is I want to show you and talk about Apple's growth curve. They went through many, many, many versions and still are growing through these versions of an elephant curve. Why is it that Apple and other product companies literally roll out new versions of their phone, new versions of the computer, new versions of the iPad every 8 to 18 months? The reason they do it is because eventually the life cycle of that product in that market with those consumers is going to tail off, and they have to be on a product release cycle that matches and gets ahead of that demand tailing off so they can continue to grow before demand tails off and goes to other competitors who are ahead of the game. So if we really think about Apple, let's just start from, let's say, 2001. Okay, Steve Jobs in the 80s, he kind of went away into part of the 90s with Next, got hired back. And then when he came back, the main product line with Apple was the Mac. Right? It was the Mac. It was the cool Macs with the color and all that kind of stuff. Now, if I were to pull up, which I'm pulling this up on the YouTube version, but if I were to pull up a graph of Apple's revenue growth from 2001 through this graph shows 2018, you're going to see that their revenue growth goes up pretty massively from in the very, very small single digit billions up into through 2018, up almost to $300 billion a year. So how does this company go from small billions to $300 billion a year, almost 100 to 200xing their revenue over that period of about 15 to 16 years? Well, it's the elephant curve. Okay, so Mac was their primary product, and then they discovered, hey, we need to add other products because this product is not going to have a lifespan forever. If you're to look at the Mac elephant curve here, and I'll visualize it for y'all, it pretty much levels out around 2004, 2005, maybe grows a little bit through 2010, 11, because they added more product. They launched the MacBook Pro and they launched other ones. But really, it's a level and not growing product line through 2018. For almost 8 years, it starts to tail off and doesn't grow. If Apple did not add on the iPad and the iPhone and the iPod and software and other things, they would have stalled out their growth. So what did they do? Around 2002, 2003, they started to roll out other technologies. That's when the iPod came into the picture. The iPod had its own version of an elephant curve. It had growth through pretty much 2004 through 2007 and 8. It hit its peak around 8 and started to tail off in 2009 and 10 when the iPhone started to take off. They added on a product for the next market, the next cycle to layer on for that next level of growth. The iPhone was released in 2008/2009. Okay. And you can see on their elephant curve, it massively added a huge bump in their growth. And that spurred on their growth from 2008 through 2018, even through today, over the next decade. That carried them. But you'll even see at the end of this elephant curve with the Mac or with the iPhone, its growth trajectory slows down. Okay, its growth trajectory slows down. Other competitors come in the market. The market shifts. The buying criteria changes. And so the way that they kept growing was adding the next product. They added the iPad the next year in 2010, 9 and 10. It grew, added an elephant curve. They added other software and services and other products and other accessories, and those started to grow as well. Now, if you were to look at some of the other great companies out there like a HubSpot or any of the other big companies, Disney, whatever, you're going to see a version of the elephant curve. Why is it that they keep releasing products, going into new markets, doubling down? It's because your marketing campaigns, your product, and your markets all have a life cycle that we need to plan around. So the big question comes, how often do we need to think about what the next market, the next marketing campaign, and the next product is? Okay. Well, there's another concept I'm bringing into you on the iPad. So we're going to dive into the iPad again, but I'm going to verbalize it if you're listening on this on the podcast. But make your way over to the YouTube version. Go over to YouTube, look me up, Trevor Mauch, Mauch, or Entrepreneur Freedom Formula, Trevor. You will find these videos. Find this one where it's titled something to the effect of growth leveling off or growth stalled out, and you'll find it right in here. Okay. So there's another concept now when we start to recognize that there are elephant curves in business, in our marketing campaigns, products, and markets, then we say, well, what do we do about that? How do we plan around it? Right. Well, it really differs by types of products. If you're in a software company, a SaaS company, growing through that 8-figure mark myself, I recognize you really need to be adding your second product or second market, probably by $5 to $8 million a year in revenue, if you have some level of growth in that company. If you don't, then you are going to stall out, which we had that challenge. And we're still working through that challenge of nailing that next growth curve past 10 million a year in revenue. Okay, so then when you're looking at that, you go, what about marketing campaigns? Well, marketing campaigns is going to be a little bit more often rather than maybe every 3 to 5 years on big product or big market changes with a company that's growing respectably well. Maybe on the marketing side of it, it might be every quarter, it might be every 6 months, it might be every year a major new campaign needs to roll out. Okay, where if you're a real estate investor or agent, you stack on SEO, great, that's going to hit, it's going to grow quickly, but then it's going to hit a curve. Then you need to stack on another channel before it hits that leveling off period. Maybe it's PPC. And before PPC hits that leveling off period, you started to master it, it's working, but hasn't fully scaled up and leveled off. Then you add on the next one. And so you always add on that marketing channel, master it, get some scale from it. And then as it's operationalized in the business, then you add on that next elephant curve before that one levels and tails off. Right. But the Ansoff Matrix can help you decide, is it a new product or is it a new market? And when we look at the matrix, really, it's broken down between a couple different things. You've got markets and products, once again. And we can then look at it from this direction. We say, well, is it a new market or an existing market? Or is it an existing product or a new market? And then we have to ask ourselves, well, either we're going to create an existing product and put it into a new market, which is called market development. Okay, that's market development. That's a product I've already got. I'm going to take it into a new market with little to no modifications to it. Or I can take an existing product in an existing market, which is market penetration. That's the market I'm already in. It's the product I've already got. Do I have enough room to go deeper into this market? Now, one thing that we experienced when we were hitting several elephant curves early on is we knew that we had much more room to penetrate that market with that exact product for the next 2, 3, 4 years. So our elephant curve tended to be marketing campaigns. Okay, so we layered on marketing campaigns to grow. But then at a certain point, we penetrated the market of real estate investors so deeply that we became kind of the 800-pound gorilla in our space for that niche of a product that we do, which is helping real estate investors and hybrid agents generate leads online for sellers and buyers and tenants in that niche of a market. We dominate it. We're the ones who help you launch the high-converting websites. Our clients dominate over 55% of all of the page one Google rankings for the top 3 keywords across all 300 markets for motivated house sellers. Our clients dominate. But when you become the 800-pound gorilla and you create other competitors underneath you, unless the market is growing, in my opinion, at a close to double-digit rate over the next 3 to 5 years, then you're probably in a shrinking market. If you're already the owner of that market and competitors have came up and the market is shifting and it's not growing, then you really need to look at that and go, shoot, can we continue to grow? One question that I ask, whether I'm going to go for market penetration more with my existing product, existing market, is I say, can I march a path, or map a path where I can double this business with my existing product, existing market? If I can't map a path I'm pretty darn confident in that can double the business with the same product, same market, then I start to look for either a new product in that market or a new market for that product. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, like I already mentioned before, is market development. Actually, I'm gonna adjust this on you a little bit. I'm gonna say number two is product development, because I think it's easier to create a new product for a market you already have inroads on. You already have partnerships. You already have marketing channels. You already have prospects in. It's easier to sell a product to that existing market than it is to go into a brand new market to build all new influence, all new lists, all new marketing connections. So I would look at that. Number one, can I penetrate my market more? Use the question of, can I double my revenue in this market? Number two, product development. If I cannot double my revenue in that market with that exact product, then say, can I have other products that I can sell and offer to this exact market that they would need before or after using my primary product? So it can be an add-on, cross-sell, things like that. So we did this. We purchased a company that is a CRM company in our space, and we've found ways to cross-sell, add on that product, and we're continuing to find new ways to do that. We feel that this can add on another elephant curve, but it's not the thing that's going to help double the business in this existing market, because this market is not a growing market. This market that we're currently in, I feel at best, is a leveled off or stagnant market over the next decade as far as clients or potential customers we can sell to. So then we look at it and say, well, awesome. If we want to continue to grow, what's the third option with the Ansoff Matrix? It's market development. That's where we say, okay, we want to take existing products into new markets. And that's one thing that we're doing at Carrot. We're taking our existing product of our high-performing website product that helps you rank amazingly well in Google and convert amazingly well and have the fastest page speeds with the best strategy for local businesses that are looking for local search clients. We said, what other markets are growing that have a lot of similarities to our market, and especially if there's overlap. If there's overlap in some way between those markets, and we can leverage some relationships, or we can leverage the data, or we can leverage some of the same customers who maybe are both in both markets. What if we can get into that market more quickly? And so that's where we did some research, and we found some markets we really like, and we've stepped into those to do new market development. Now, new market development is much riskier, I feel, than product development into an existing market that you know well, but they're pretty much on par. They both have a level of risk that I would say is a medium risk. Okay, lowest risk is market penetration. That's existing products in existing markets if you see the market has room to grow. Medium risk is product development. That's new products in your existing market. And market development, that's existing product into new markets. Now, the most risky version or way to grow your company so you don't level off, or if you did hit a growth stall, is brand new product in brand new market. Okay, that's diversification. That's saying, I'm going to basically create all new things for all new people, and I'm going to go into that market. And I think that's our path forward. Now, we've seen amazingly successful companies who have done this. You can go to Apple again. You can go to Disney, and they went from the cartoon world to theme parks to movies to all types of things, to streaming services, to news stations, to everything you can imagine, sports teams. They basically are saying, we are entertainment, okay, and we are going to diversify in new markets and new products. That's their strategy. And usually as a company grows and becomes much bigger, diversification is a core strategy that's really, really important to look at, okay? And that's something I think we should all have a peg on. Where are there bigger problems out there that we can solve? Now, I'll give you an example in the tech world. Jasper. So before Jasper AI grew and raised all the capital that they did and grew into that $100 million plus company that they did insanely fast, they were a different company called Proof. Use Proof. And Proof is a software, you've all probably seen it, where you're on a website and up pops this little thing in the bottom left sidebar, and it says, hey, this person requested an offer, this person purchased the product 5 seconds ago, or this person did this. It shows a proof element. Well, a lot of people copy that in other types of businesses. They grew Proof to a good, respectable company, a multi-million-dollar software company, but it started to level off, and it didn't really have the growth opportunity that they saw. They didn't think they could take the existing product into new markets per se and have that be the main driver. They didn't feel like they wanted to build per se a new product for that specific market. What they said is, what if we diversify and build a new product in a new, broader, bigger market? Okay. And they went after AI earlier than most did. And they built the tools that became the tools a lot of companies, now big companies, use to create content and brand guidelines and brand voice with AI generated tools. They did a massive adjustment and went into diversification and made a big bet. It may have paid off amazingly well or not. And whenever we go into the diversification bucket, ideally, we only want to make what I call outsized bets. Your outsized bet should be, I'm gonna risk X amount and I'm okay with risking that. And if it doesn't work, it's not going to ruin the bank. But if this works, it's going to be a massive, massive, massive opportunity. Okay, we never want to do the diversification, new markets, new products, if it's a big investment in a not great, not huge outcome that you can potentially get. All right, guys. So I'm going to kind of wrap up this thought here and give you some questions. If your growth has stalled out, or you want to make sure it doesn't stall out, or it's going backwards, you want to get your mojo back. The first couple things to do is this. Number one, recognize there are elephant curves in business. And the way that you grow your business is by layering on the next elephant curve strategically. Start with marketing campaigns, layer those on as you master, layer, penetrate your existing market with your existing product, until you get to a point to where you don't feel like there's room in that market to penetrate any further and your growth stalls out just because the market dynamics and or the market's not growing fast enough for you to grow with it because you're already the leader in that market. Then number two, layer on after marketing campaigns in that market. Choose, is it next product in my existing market, or is it taking my existing product into new markets? Okay, choose one of those, layer on that elephant curve, and then continue to double down on that. Then eventually you may decide, take that into a new market or develop a new product, or you know what, I'm going to diversify and do a bet where it's an investment with an outsized potential return to truly build something huge and amazing. So what I'd love to hear from you with this episode is, number one, does this change your perspective on growing your company a little bit? Because if you have had a period where you have stalled out that growth or it's slowing down, sometimes we don't know why, and we keep on doing more of the same thing. And what I want to challenge you to do is, sometimes more of the same thing won't get you where you want to go. It just helps the wheels spin faster in that mud and gets you stuck. And so sometimes it's making a shift. And hopefully these two tools, the elephant curve concept and the Ansoff Matrix, can give you that confidence to say, let me map a plan and go into that next spot that's going to help our company grow. So if you're watching this on YouTube, y'all, pop a comment in the YouTube comment section below. I'd love to hear what you think about this concept. Where have you been stuck in your growth, or where are you stuck right now? And what resonates with you? Are you going to go into a new market, new product, or dive deeper into your existing market? And also, y'all, hit subscribe on this, because I'm going to be coming at you bringing concepts out of my over $40 million in revenue generated from my companies over the last number of years. My knowledge of growing our team. We're not the biggest company in the world, y'all. Yeah, we have 50 to 60 employees. We don't have $100 million in revenue. Go follow those people on YouTube that have those. If you want to go from 0 to 100,000, 100,000 to a million to 10, and grow an amazing business that you love, and don't go for scale just for the sense of scale, for the sake of scale, but you want to grow a business that truly fuels your passions, that truly fuels you to help you have freedom and impact. If that's the type of business you want, then this is the channel for you. All right, guys, hit subscribe on the Entrepreneur Freedom Formula podcast, or if you're on YouTube, hit subscribe here and share this up with a person. If there's someone stuck, if there's someone who's stalled out that you personally know, hit that button, take the extra 60 seconds and share this over there with Bobby and say, hey, Bobby, I know we chatted and there's a couple of challenges you've got. I think this podcast or this video might be able to help you out. All right, guys, love you to death. Love you so much. And guys, business is hard, right? I've said it before here on the Entrepreneur Freedom Formula. It's hard as heck. And if we reframe what business is and what trials are, that trials are for us, they're not done to us. That trials and challenges are here for us to grow through, to grow from, not to run from. Then we start to reframe these and go, okay, yeah, it's hard, but there's a reason I have this challenge in front of me. It's because number one, I'm capable of accomplishing it and moving through it. Otherwise, this challenge would not be brought to me in front front of me. Number two, this challenge is showing me where I'm weak and where I have an opportunity to grow. And you get to ask the question, do I want to grow through this? Okay. And then number three, when you grow through this, you're going to have so much more amazing experience and context that you can now take that knowledge and share it with other people who are 2 steps behind you, the same way that I'm hopefully doing for you. All right, guys, take that, run with it. We'll see you on the next episode of the Entrepreneur Freedom Formula. Hit subscribe, hit me with a rating and review, and let me know in the comments section, where are you stuck right now, or what's your next move? New market, new product, diversification. I'm here for you.